The cabin creaked around me, a symphony of groans and sighs as old wood settled against the biting mountain wind. Each creak seemed to echo the eerie silence that enveloped the place, making the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. The storm outside was relentless, and the cabin felt like it was alive, breathing and shifting with every gust of wind. I huddled deeper into my threadbare armchair, the worn pages of my book trembling in my hands. The words on the page blurred as my eyes darted to the shadows dancing on the walls. The flickering candlelight cast eerie shapes, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. The storm outside raged, a furious beast clawing at the windows. The wind howled like a banshee, and the rain pounded against the glass with a ferocity that made me flinch. It was as if the storm was trying to break in, to claim the cabin and everything inside it. Lightning split the sky, momentarily illuminating the dusty interior of the isolated cabin. In that brief flash, I saw the room in stark detail, the cobwebs in the corners, the old furniture covered in a thin layer of dust, and the shadows that seemed to move on their own. And that's when I saw her, a figure, barely more than a silhouette, standing just outside the window. My heart skipped a beat, and I blinked, hoping it was just a trick of the light. A flash of crimson, a fleeting figure darting between the gnarled trees at the edge of the woods. She moved with an otherworldly grace, her red dress billowing like a ghostly flame in the storm. I couldn't tear my eyes away, even as fear gripped my heart. My breath caught in my throat, heart pounding against my ribs like a trapped bird. The sight of her was both mesmerizing and terrifying, and I felt a chill run down my spine. It couldn't be. Not in this weather. Not this far up the mountain. The rational part of my mind screamed that it was impossible, but the image of the girl in the red dress was seared into my memory. The image burned itself into my mind, the vibrant red dress a stark contrast to the desolate landscape. It was as if she didn't belong here, a splash of color in a world of grey and black.
I strained my eyes, peering into the swirling greyness beyond the window. The storm made it difficult to see, but I was determined to catch another glimpse of her. The figure was gone, swallowed by the shadows and the relentless fury of the storm. I felt a pang of disappointment mixed with relief. Had she been real or just a figment of my imagination? Had I imagined it? A trick of the light, perhaps my tired mind playing tricks on me? The storm and the isolation were enough to make anyone see things that weren't there. Still, a shiver ran down my spine, leaving a trail of goosebumps in its wake. The cabin felt colder, the shadows darker, and the storm louder. Something about that fleeting glimpse felt unsettling. It was as if the girl in the red dress was a harbinger of something, a warning that I couldn't quite understand. The storm continued to rage outside, but now it felt like it was more than just a natural phenomenon. It felt like a prelude to something far more sinister.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
Daniel leaned against the doorframe, a knowing smirk playing on his lips. Daniel, my older brother, had a knack for appearing at the most inopportune moments. He crossed the room, his footsteps echoing in the silence that followed the dying roar of thunder, and retrieved my fallen book. S1, just the wind.
Sure, it wasn't the ghost of Old Man Croft come back to haunt the mountain.
You know I hate those stories.
The wind howled outside, a mournful sound that seemed to echo my unease. It whispered through the gaps in the window frames, weaving tales of forgotten secrets and things best left undisturbed.
There's something in the attic.
Daniel paused, a log cracking in the fireplace behind him, and turned to look at me, his expression unreadable.
Red, you say? Sounds intriguing. What makes you think that? S1. Something red.
I hesitated, unsure how to explain the fleeting glimpse, the feeling of unease that had settled over me like a shroud.
I saw something, someone outside, a flash of red disappearing into the woods.
Daniel's eyes narrowed, a flicker of something akin to concern crossing his features. He knew me too well.
And you think this apparition is hiding in our attic?
Maybe. Or maybe I'm just letting Old Man Croft's ghost stories get to me.
I tried to laugh it off, but the sound came out thin and unconvincing. The attic had always been a place of mystery, shrouded in shadows and filled with the musty scent of forgotten things. Now it seemed to beckon me, whispering promises of long-buried secrets, and I, for better or worse, was drawn to its allure. The air in the attic was thick with dust and the weight of forgotten years. It felt as though time itself had stopped in this place, preserving the memories and secrets of those who had once walked these floors. The silence was almost deafening, broken only by the occasional creak of the old house settling. Cobwebs clung to every surface, shimmering like ghostly shrouds in the pale light filtering through the grimy window. They seemed to move with a life of their own, swaying gently as if whispering secrets of the past. The atmosphere was thick with an eerie stillness, making every breath feel heavy and laboured. The floorboards groaned under our combined weight as Daniel and I cautiously made our way deeper into the cramped space. Each step was a careful negotiation, the wood beneath us threatening to give way at any moment. The sense of unease grew with every creak, as if the house itself was warning us to turn back. The musty scent of old paper and decaying wood filled my nostrils, making my eyes water. It was a smell that spoke of forgotten stories and long-lost memories, a scent that seemed to cling to the very walls of the attic. The air was thick with the weight of history, each breath a reminder of the countless lives that had passed through this place. But I was no longer sure who I was trying to convince, him or myself. The doubt gnawed at me, a persistent whisper in the back of my mind. Was this really the right path? Or were we simply chasing ghosts, driven by a need to find meaning in the shadows? The glimpse of red, the whispers on the wind, it all felt intentional, as if the very air around us was alive with purpose, guiding us towards something we were meant to find. The sense of being watched was palpable, a constant presence just beyond the edge of perception, as if something wanted to be found. The feeling was undeniable, a magnetic pull drawing us deeper into the unknown. It was as if the attic itself was alive, its secrets yearning to be uncovered. And then I saw it, a glint of something out of place, a small beacon in the sea of dust and decay. My heart skipped a beat as I realized what it was. A small leather-bound book tucked away in the corner of a dusty trunk. It seemed almost too perfect, as if it had been waiting for us all along. The sight of it sent a shiver down my spine. Its once bright cover was faded with age, the title barely discernible. The Diary of Elias Croft. The name sent a jolt of recognition through me, a name whispered in hushed tones and half-forgotten stories. My heart pounded in my chest as I reached out, my fingers trembling slightly as I brushed away the layer of dust. The weight of the book was solid and real in my hands, a tangible link to the past. This could be the answer to the mysteries that had plagued this mountain for decades. The thought was both exhilarating and terrifying. What secrets lay within these pages? What truths had Elias Croft recorded in his diary? Or it could be the key that unlocked something far more sinister. The possibility hung in the air, a dark cloud over our discovery. What if we were about to unleash something that had been hidden for a reason? This is insane. We're chasing shadows. The words echoed in my mind, a stark reminder of the thin line between curiosity and madness. But it was too late to turn back now. We'd come too far, and the Diary of Elias Croft was our only hope of finding the truth. The diary's pages were brittle with age, the ink faded and spidery. Each page seemed to whisper secrets of a time long past, secrets that had been buried and forgotten. We huddled together, our breath misting in the cold air as we deciphered Elias Croft's cramped handwriting. The chill in the air seemed to seep into our bones, making the task even more daunting. The words painted a picture of a man obsessed, driven to madness by his pursuit of forbidden knowledge. Each sentence was a window into his tormented soul, revealing the depths of his desperation. He wrote of ancient rituals, of sacrifices made under the blood moon, of a power that could be harnessed or that could consume all those who dared to seek it. The descriptions were vivid, almost as if he had witnessed these dark ceremonies himself.
This is messed up. The words hung in the air, a stark reminder of the gravity of our discovery. The guy was clearly insane, but there was something about his madness that felt disturbingly real, as if he had tapped into a truth that was too terrifying to comprehend.
But I couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to it than madness. The forest around us seemed to echo with the whispers of the past, urging us to delve deeper. There was a chilling conviction in Croft's words, a sense of purpose that transcended the ramblings of a broken mind. His writings were not just the musings of a lunatic. They were a testament to a dark and dangerous journey. And then my fingers brushed against something small and stiff, tucked between the pages. It felt out of place, an anomaly in the midst of the fragile paper. I carefully eased it out, my heart catching in my throat as I unfolded the delicate silk. The fabric was soft to the touch, yet it carried an ominous weight. It was a ribbon, a vibrant crimson red, the same shade as the dress I had glimpsed through the storm. The memory of that fleeting vision sent a chill down my spine. But this ribbon was stained with something dark and crusty. The sight of it made my stomach churn, a visceral reaction to the evidence of violence, something that sent a shiver of primal fear crawling down my spine. Blood. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut, leaving me breathless and trembling. This was no ordinary ribbon, it was a relic of a dark past, a tangible link to the horrors that Elias Croft had chronicled in his diary. The weight of our discovery settled heavily on my shoulders, and I knew that we had only just begun to uncover the true extent of the darkness that lay ahead.